Welcome guys, it's Orange Tech here. Today we're just going to talk about the iPhone 17 lineup so you guys know which one you should get, which one you should stay away from, because a lot of people are looking at a specific phone and just talk in general. Is it the right move for Apple to make certain decisions, or what is actually happening in the Apple space? So now let's go across all the phones. Apple decided to launch 4 different models this year. It's the iPhone 17, the Air, the iPhone 17 Pro, and the Pro Max. Now, this is a exciting year for Apple because I was literally looking at Tim Cook's face. This guy was smiling all the time because he knew that they had done something a little bit better than what they did previous years. Because if we're looking back at the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the one I have, and the iPhone 16, there were a lot of problems with the phone. First of all, being the camera system, because this camera system wasn't the best. It shuffled a lot from wide to normal. It was just something unpredictable most of the time, especially when you wanted to take a macro picture. And second of all, being the fact that this got literally hot most of the time, either you're content creating or just playing games in general. So this was a major problem for the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro Max. So across all the phones right now, you're getting different sizes and different color range, which is super nice. On the iPhone 17, the colors you're getting is black, white, mist blue, sage, and lavender, which is nice, like different color range. On the iPhone Air, you're getting at least 4 different color range as well. Then on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, you're only getting 3. The colors are not bad, but many people are just complaining about the iPhone 17 Pro Max not getting black. Well, it's something to argue about. And then we're going for the price, all right? So the price is where things get a little bit shaky because the iPhone 17 is a really good phone. It's something more like a Pro phone. I mean, anybody would go for that, right? But Apple did something a little bit special when they decided to showcase the iPhone Air, like Apple's smallest and thinnest phone, which many people really got curious about. And let's just be real, like the phone, it looks super great. I mean, I enjoy looking at innovations, but I don't really feel like there was a lot of innovation when it comes down to the strategy thinking of Apple, because Apple has been under criticism previous years back, not being able to give us some innovations in phones. When you look at Samsung phones, for example, you see triple fold, 4-pull fold, 5-pull. You see a lot of innovations coming on every single year. The thing that I'm super pissed off about is the way they made it look like this is something innovative. I don't understand, because normally having a slim phone isn't something to be joyful about, because at some point you are thinking about ergonomics. If you have a huge hand, can you use it for 10 hours without getting cramps in your fingers? Stuff like that. So the iPhone 17 Air comes in around 5.6 millimeters and weighs around 165 grams, which Apple claims is the smallest phone they have ever made. And it got the crowd jumping, thinking this is like the top tier phone. Let's just be honest, it is a good marketing, and this is something Apple uses to make the crowd go wow and want to buy the phone. So when we're talking about cameras in general, the iPhone 17 lineup has a major change. Some of them being something that we are used to seeing, and some of them being super innovative, which I feel like Apple somehow has paved the way for cameras out there and for, filming content in general. And that is being the center stage camera. Yes, we're used to seeing center stage camera on our iPad or the MacBook Pros, but now it's on our phone. And now you can also film both vertical and horizontal, which is super nice. I mean, being able to film like this and film vertical or horizontal is super nice, because now you don't really have to hold your phone weirdly when you want to take photos or when you want to take a video, for example. So taking videos like this, sometimes you get that weird angle, but now you could just have it straight, position yourself. If you guys are a group, it's just nice. You can capture everybody in the group because you have this AI feature that literally detects if there are a lot of people in the background or not. So that is super cool, and that was the innovative thing with the iPhone 17 lineup that I am super interested about, to see how this looks in real life. And then we're looking at a 48 megapixels across all the iPhone 17 lineup, and they're called Fusion main camera. What does Fusion main camera actually mean? Because many people have been thinking, why just not the whole 48 megapixels? Now, Apple is using a technique called binning pixels. Now, what does this actually mean? So binning pixels is a technique that uses a lot of pixels. It gathers a lot of pixels to create a bigger pixels to give you a much more clearer and sharper image, which is, I'm not gonna lie, super nice and super good in low light conditions, which everybody is gonna like in general. Cover that. So what it literally does is that it takes photo on default in 24 megapixels, and it uses those pixels to give you the best quality ever. Super good low light condition, and that is what Apple literally does. And you get that computation technique as well that enhances the image to give you the best quality as well. So Apple did something really nice with the camera system. And then you also get the all-new A19 chip. Let's just be honest, this thing looks good because it's built on a 3nm architecture Gen 2, which means better efficiency, and it's a lot more faster. And let's just say that the CPU gets a improvement in AI and machine learning. And then the GPU is also good for gaming, pro apps, and all those kind of things. And then you get the Neural Engine, which is just great for, Siri enhancement and all that in Apple Intelligence stuff that they didn't really mention in the event this year. So we're just gonna sit back with that one because we don't know what Apple is actually doing. But the A19 chip is designed to balance the performance with battery life on all the iPhone 17 lineup, and also, give us a longer playback hours. Now, if you plus that at the vapor chamber that Apple talked about on the launch, I'm just gonna say that was one of the things that we needed on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. We had a lot of issues with because it gets hot most of the time when I'm playing games and all that. But now with the vapor chamber, it's just gonna cool that off, giving me a longer time to film content or play game or just use pro apps in that case. Now, where I start to think about where this might be a problem with the vapor chamber is because you get a all-rounded aluminum chassis. It's all cool and that, but like when it comes down to repairs and stuff, if you have a vapor chamber and a full aluminum chassis, it's going to be hard and difficult to repair the phone. But hey, I don't know, maybe they have a huge and a good solution for that, but that is my thoughts on the vapor chamber and the aluminum chassis and the repair in general. So now if you decide to go for the eSIM, you do get a lot of battery capacity, but then you think, how many % battery capacity do you actually get? Maybe 2, 3, in my case, that's what I'm actually thinking. And that would just add up to at least 1 hour more or so. But does that really matter? Well, you decide, do you want eSIM or do you want the traditional SIM card that we are using? So that is something that is super interesting to know. But I know that Apple has been pushing for eSIM a very long time. And then you get 30 hours of video playback on the iPhone 17, 27 hours on the Air, and 39 hours on the Pro and Pro Max. And what Apple is literally claiming also is that you can get up to 50% charge in like 30 or 20 minutes, which is super great. That is nice. I even think that the iPhone 17 Air, even though it has 27 hours, it will still give you at least 1 or 2 days battery use. And then another thing that is super nice to know is that you're getting a ProMotion technology, which is super great. It's offering a 120 Hertz always on display, which means that anytime you put down your phone, it goes down to 1 Hertz. And as soon as you pick up your phone, it goes directly up to 120 Hertz, depending on what you're doing. If you're reading a book or scrolling on social media or just scrolling to find your best recipe for chicken and sauce and all that stuff, it's super great for the eyes because you don't really need to strain your eyes like the previous models. It wasn't bad, but after using 120 Hertz for a long period of time, you will actually see the difference, because I feel like 60 Hertz is not that bad, but at the same time, 120 hertz, it's a lot better. So who should actually go for what models, and why should you go for those models? So in this case, most people might be thinking, why not just go for the iPhone 17 Air or the iPhone 17 in general? Because they do look good. They have the best colors, you know, better than the Pro Max this year. I don't know what happened, but at the same time, they do look super good. And this is where everything gets super funny, because the iPhone 17 Air is $999 and it only has one camera. I understand it's a slim phone and all that, but coming in at that price, it has to have at least two cameras. In my opinion, these phones are not cheap. It's not something that you just, you know, pull out and say, hey, this is what I want to buy. Sometimes not all people have $799 or, you know, $1,199 in a bank account like that. It's something you really need to discuss with yourself, like, okay, so what am I using this phone for? And in this case, the iPhone 17 base model is enough. It is enough. It's almost it's almost a pro phone. And when you look at the specs in general, you're getting a A19 chip, a 3000 nits. You're also getting a ProMotion display and a battery life up to 30 hours, which is good. Like, you don't really need to stress yourself. The camera system is good. You can use it for content creation. So if you're a student who don't want to spend that much money and you need a high-tech phone, like up-to-date phone, then the iPhone 17, you're good. You don't need anything else. That's the best model for me this year. Then you get the iPhone 17 Air, which goes for $999, and to be honest, it's aesthetic pleasing. Like, this phone is something you're not gonna rock a case with because it defeats the whole point of you having an Air. And Apple is literally saying that this is the thinnest and slimmest phone because it's coming in at 5.6 millimeters and also 165 gram. I mean, it is small, it's good. And if you're somebody who like aesthetics, then this phone is for you. You choose aesthetics more than specs, then this phone is just that thing. But the only downside for me is the fact that this doesn't have the specs, but at some point, where does it lose the functionality of being a phone? Because this thing is super small for the hand. So if I'm using it for 3 hours, am I gonna get cramp on my hands or my fingers? Is that something that would make me not want to use the phone that much? Because I feel like most people use the phone for over 4 hours or 5 hours a day. Check the screen time. It might tell you that. But anyhow, I don't know about that. And the other thing is that I feel like many people are going to lose this phone a lot more because it's just going to slip and you're not going to see or feel the phone in your pocket. Let's say you're outdoors and you have an outer layer jacket and you just slip your phone inside your pocket. At some point, you wouldn't really feel the phone because of how thin and small it is. So I don't know, I feel like the phone being super thin will be a huge problem and many people are going to lose the phone. And then you get the Pro and the Pro Max version. I feel like if you are a creator and you take content creation really serious, or you're pro in something that you really need those cutting edge, then go for the Pro phone, or else just go back to the base model, because the Pro phone will give you those specs, will give you the power you need to be able to content create, edit, film, play games. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you need those tech, then go for the Pro phone. And I'm gonna tell you that Apple literally knew what they were doing with the prices and how they wanted most people to use the Pro and the Pro Max. The Air is just a deflection for you to literally go for the Pro and the Pro Max. And many people are just gonna go for the Pro or the Pro Max this year. But the Air is gonna be there, but many people are gonna go for the Pro and the Pro Max. All I'm trying to say is that nowadays, most people don't want those mirrorless and those full frame cameras going all around filming content. They just want something super casual, because why are people literally buying the DJI Osmo Pocket? Because it's so small and portable. And this is what the iPhone is gonna help you with. On top of that, you can answer calls, write text, go on social media, post directly, and you have a phone that gives you all those specs you need. So I feel like this is something of a new start, a new era. And I know that the front-facing camera is gonna be a lot more better in the coming years. So the Pro Max and the Pro phone is super nice. So I'm gonna call my mom and tell her I pre-ordered the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and let's see what she says, okay?
You don't know what I talk about. I say, but.
And I just want to say that I pre-ordered the new iPhone 17 Pro Max.
Congratulations.
Uh-huh. That's it. That's the thing now. You're not saying anything.
That's 2 plot of land now. What about? Oh my God! 2 plot of
Oh
land.
my God.
This
10 minutes later. Anyhow, back to the video. But for me, when it comes down to the model I'm gonna go for, it has to be only one. And that is the iPhone 17 Pro Max in orange. There's no brainer because all my socials, my social name is orange, and this was literally just calling my name saying, hey, pick me. So I'm gonna go for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and I'm gonna make a review on that and show you guys how it feels, what to expect, all the Apple Intelligence, the camera system, the battery life. I'm gonna do a whole test and show you guys if this is something you should get as well, or whether you should stick with the normal iPhone 17 base model. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe because I'm soon there to get that 1,000 subscribers. I've been waiting for a very long time. So help me out to get to my goal, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week.